Together we can save the world. Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Save us from losing our souls. Save the Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Together we can save the world. Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Save us from losing our souls. Save the world. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Together we can save the world. Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls.
Making my wish come true like a genie. Holding up the glass in the club too steamy. Not a race horse, you a black Lamborghini. Some people might think you're sleazy. You're so fine, so you're making look easy. So much you can make a man green. So don't stop, go ahead and get freaky. You got me wanting to be with you. So sexy, I don't know what to do. Your curves are making my dreams come true. The way it's pushing me taboo. Just be naughty, move like a bro, girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. Hot body. Makes me wanna fall in love. Makes me wanna fall in love. Don't stop now, just get naughty. Move like a bro, girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. Hot body. Hot body.
everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel, and I am hoping you guys are having a wonderful Christmas Eve. It is a very interesting Tuesday. I have been playing more Diablo, and I am having a lot of fun with it. I'll be back on Twitch later tonight playing more, because I am dead set to get that quest done. I discovered what happens when the server crashes and you're halfway through your mission. It doesn't save your progress. It doesn't save your progress, and then you lose all of your things that you killed, all of the stuff you picked up. So that sucks. That happened to me last night. And unfortunately, I'm kind of wandering around in the dungeon right now because navigation assist does not work in the dungeon. And that is the one drawback to the game. But the footsteps are loud enough that I can tell when I'm walking down a path and when I'm not. I had to turn the music down a little bit so that I could hear the footsteps better. But hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. Hello, Fury Kitten. How are you doing, guys? I hope you're having a good time. But yeah, I am totally addicted to Diablo. I spent 3 hours this morning playing Diablo, and I was like, I had to force myself to just stop. Because I was like, okay, stop. But yeah, it's an addictive game, and I haven't even gone and done any like dungeons with any people yet, or done any campaigns with anybody yet. I've just been playing through the story, like the chapters and the quests, and I am having stupid amounts of fun. I am so glad that I got this game. It was very much worth it. I'm very happy with the purchase. And like I said, I'll be playing it later on because I've been wanting to play it all day. But yeah, it's freaking awesome. I can't wait. And the music is great. The sound effects are great. I love it. I've decided to go with a rogue class, and her name is Grunelda. Thank you to Pink Hollow for that. He called her Grunelda, and I'm level 6 already. I've only been playing for 2 days, I think. I have 8 hours, and I'm at level 6, so that's a good. And I am super happy with my purchase. Thank you to Duck Dog for allowing that to happen. And we are here, like I said, I've got a bunch of videos to go through. And I hope I can provide you some entertainment on this Christmas Eve while you might be getting ready for your Christmas Day, or spending some time by yourself. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, thank you for being here. And I hope I can provide you with some entertainment while we go through all these videos, and then later on Twitch with Diablo 4. And hopefully, I am 2 followers away from 500 on Twitch. So if you guys want to go, if you're not following the Twitch channel over there, go ahead and do that. Twitch.tv/blindpress. And like I said, we'll do a interesting. We'll do a freaking 500 follower stream and play a whole shit ton of Diablo 4. Oh, so yeah, let's see. We've got a whole bunch of videos, like I said. And we're gonna start with a video about spanking therapy. Whatever the fuck that is. This video is called Spanking Therapy is Crazy. And I don't even want I'm almost scared. I don't want to know what spanking therapy is. Let's see.
Recently learned about this guy called the Silver Lake Spankologist, and
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, run that by me again, Charlie.
Recently learned about this guy called the Silver Lake Spankologist, and I can't tell if it's real. It's a 70-year-old doctor who spanks people to cure them.
Okay, a spankologist, huh? Really? No, I am not an elf. I am a rogue.
There's a video on YouTube. It's safe.
I'm not I was gonna be a barbarian or a spiritborn, but I like the rogue's abilities.
I'm a spankologist, and I've been doing this for almost 40 years.
Oh god, he sounds so creepy. What the fuck? What is this? What is this that you have discovered, Charlie?
And I am about to introduce this young man to a session.
Oh god. Oh god. That sounds so ominous.
It sounds like a threat.
It does.
Jesus Christ. Man, he looks like, what's his name, Dr. Kevorkian? Let's take a peek at Spankology.
Spankologist? A spankograph? Spankometer? Right? Does he have any spank measuring instruments?
I might not be familiar with this discipline of medicine. Neurospankology, the neuroscience of spanking.
Huh?
Here's something from 7 years ago from BuzzFeed called We Tried Spank Therapy.
7 years ago, eh? That's how recent, that's how up to date he could find this. Spankology, okay.
So this looks like a real thing. I'm using the term real thing so loosely. I just mean there are some people that practice it.
I don't know if you can call this a real thing, or if you can just say there are people that do it.
And what's your name?
My name is Brace. About an hour ago, I was bent over the waist. A 72-year-old, I believe, man wearing a doctor's coat, who used his hand as an implement of both healing and pain.
Okay, I'm very disturbed by this. I'm disturbed and also amused by this.
So be comfortable.
Okay.
As all the best medicine
You're in a
does.
position here, so you can hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did most of the talking. We just kind of let him show us what he was all about.
He did most of the talking while he spanked him, and then we just found out what it was all about just by letting him talk and whack him over and over again.
Over here. Now look at this. Now this is how you get access.
I see. Yeah. You are touching me.
Okay, doctor, far be it from me to question a medical professional,
I would
but
trust this guy around my children as long as they are 4 to 5 kilometers away. I know, right? Oh my god, this is...
Sure. Who's that helping? At the end, is it for her benefit or yours?
I think it's for his benefit.
Are you sure? You sure I can watch this here? This
I think
doesn't.
this is a fetish.
I mean, it is medicine. At the end of the day, sometimes you got to do the dirty work of spanking a tuchus every now and then.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get in there and just smack the shit out of somebody.
Let me just skim through to make sure there's no, like, nudity.
Yeah, good idea.
You can only do so much healing on a clothed bottom. We're
Oh!
going to need to take down her trousers here for this next procedure. She's got a lot of tension on her L4. And in order to relieve that, it's going to need to be skin-to-skin contact.
Oh, Charlie, you have such a dirty mind.
I came there to learn.
Here's the butthole here, and you're.
Here's the what?
I came there to learn.
Here's the butthole here,
Okay, that's what I thought he said. All right, moving on.
and you're
Oh, you're directly smacking the butthole.
spanking Ash.
You're spanking the butthole. Why do I have to hear the words spanking the butthole? This is not something I wanted to hear. No, I'm not gonna kink shame, but this is just,
Actually cures people of high blood pressure. Because
Wait, what?
Is that right?
spanking actually cures people of high blood pressure.
Spanking cures people of high blood pressure. What the fuck? Should I spank Pincalo whenever he has high blood pressure?
Because
then?
Is that right?
Your butt will talk to you. Yeah, I mean, they talk to me.
They talk a lot of shit,
but
I'll tell you that
tell me
much.
What they can handle, what they can't.
Gotcha.
And I'm not a medical doctor,
Well.
but I specialize in this particular area.
He's an asshole
Flicking
sorcerer.
the rusty
This
sheriff's
is
badge makes your
necessary.
eyes roll. Oh my god.
What?
What the fuck am I watching?
You know, I just had maybe that's what's going on here.
Trudeau releases holiday message, eh?
Maybe the reason I feel so fragile
Lovely.
is I'm not having my brown balloon
We're
knot
learning about
slapped enough.
spanking therapy right
I need
now.
to book a spankology appointment.
His wife is the one that sending him.
Of course it is. Of course his wife is the one that's sending him. Let's emasculate the man by sending him to a spank therapist.
And this is not sexual.
No.
And this is not sexual. No. Yeah, I don't believe you.
Why do you caress it? How can that possibly help with the healing?
Looking for here.
Stress and stuff like that. You know.
No boner detected.
He had no boner detected when he spanked me.
Oh god! That is so disturbing.
I was more surprised that he was interested in my ass at all.
I don't think he's interested in it from a. I believe him.
What the fuck is this? They're listening, they're whispering to it. I genuinely believe him. What is this? What is this shit?
He's got a good butt.
I'm pretty open-minded as a person.
Wait, does this guy have a
What?
website? Can I book an appointment? I'll go out to Silver Lake for a little spank session.
But, oh god. Oh god, Charlie.
What was it, Dr. Don? You have no ass, though? Yeah, which will be a fine challenge for him. Dr.
You have no ass.
Don will see my Hank Hill cheeks, and he'll be like, well, we're gonna have to figure something else out here. Then he'll start getting me with 1,000 years of pain spanks. Oh, no, he has a Facebook page.
Oh, a Facebook page. That's how professional.
Oh, wow, wait, he's in LA. He'd ask you to leave.
Yeah, he would.
He bends me over his leg and he's like, you think this is a joke? You come to my sacred facility with these? Get out.
Get out, no ass. I don't do no ass work.
Get out, scoundrel. It was like slapping therapy, but kinky.
Did I
Yeah.
just say AA?
They must come
Maybe.
from the same discipline. I can't find any info on how I'd possibly book an appointment, but I am so curious.
Of course you
He does
are,
have a book, it's
Charlie.
called Red Tail Bible.
What the fuck? Red Tail what?
Oh yeah, you're right. Red Tail Bible from Dr. Don Edwards. For someone who's been involved in the world of BDSM for over 30 years, there's one particular thing that was missing when it came to adult spanking, and that's the specialty of male-to-male adult spanking.
Let's see. A lot of subsessions, a lot of role play, and a lot of it is more releasing than any other form. Best not to ask. Hey, no
What?
judgment.
You just said this wasn't sexual, and you immediately referenced BDSM for your book?
Huh?
I don't know what to believe. Is this not supposed to be therapeutic? It's supposed to relieve high blood pressure, Don. I also appreciate that he was investigating. Like, he wasn't just in there, lollygagging. He was in there trying to get down to the brass tacks. He was checking for boners. He was spreading his cheeks. Like,
Yeah, he was in there. It was but apparently it's not a sexual thing. I don't believe that.
man was doing the due diligence. Don is a professional.
Yes.
He's got a couple books. So he's got the Red Tail Bible, which is about the spanking. He's got another one called Behind Closed Doors, The Secrecy of Darkness. If you've been spanked as a child and remember it was not fun, but lately you've been hearing more and more about adult spanking as part of foreplay or brought up in playful conversation and start to wonder, now that you're an adult, how it may feel to either spank someone else or be spanked.
This is totally sexual. This is nothing but sexual, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just own it.
How many books have you written on spanking, man? Here's another
All
one.
of them.
Spiral Dynamics in Action, Humanities Master Code, Russian edition. I don't... How does this relate to spanking? Well, let me skim through.
BDSM is not sexual in a lot of cases. I knew a lot of lassies that just need to just both dom and sub. Yeah,
To watch the whole documentary on my own, but I want to skim through just a little bit.
I see. I'm not well versed into the BDSM world.
So it looks like they spend the day getting to know Dr. Don, and the spanking therapy is mainly just like the start of it that got them interested in this really interesting character.
About history, do you think things could have gone differently if they had been spanked? Obviously, Hitler, but
Oh, what the fuck? You don't think Hitler was spanked as a child? Holy shit.
I could spank any president, probably John Kennedy.
do you think Oswald acted alone?
Oswald, well, I don't even think Oswald did it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
You play a bard or a barbarian, which is it, the player or the played?
Well, it went straight in.
Asking the hard-hitting questions. It's
Yeah.
about goddamn time. So then they get deep. Like, this is what happens when you get spanked. You start opening up your third eye.
Look, Charlie, really?
And that's important. This is more than just relieving of high blood pressure. This is an awakening. Are we sure this is real? I mean, dude's written 2 books on it and he's selling the books.
If he's actually selling these books, that's impressive.
It seems like he's kind of based his whole life around his spankology. This also seems like it's kind of old. Like, this was posted 3 months ago, but I'm pretty sure this video is far older. At least based on this, because Dr. Don hasn't had a spankology session that I can track in quite a while.
Maybe Dr. Don has retired. He's pretty old.
He's just getting so many bookings he can't keep it updated. That could be it. Well, this was an interesting little rabbit hole. I'm going to finish this documentary later. He's such an interesting character. Put his website in the Wayback Machine, and the quote that pops up is, "Bend over and take it like a man."
Ah,
Dr. Don, you dirty dog.
Leave my third eye alone. That's what caffeine is for. Oh, that's too good. That's too good. Oh, what a weird thing to open with. And speaking of weirdness, let's see. Let's see here. How a YouTube prank killed Kim Jong-un's brother. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's take a look at that.
A new day, a new twist in the saga surrounding the death of Kim Jong-nam.
Investigators in Malaysia have arrested a suspected female secret agent in this James Bond-style hit.
One of the suspects, an Indonesian woman, told...
What? Well, yeah.
Well, what's bigger, a third or a quarter?
A third.
Do you know why the 1/3 Whopper didn't sell at Burger King?
Why?
Because people thought the quarter pounder was bigger at McDonald's.
Oh my god.
Told police she thought she was taking part in a harmless prank as part of a reality TV show.
If convicted, the two women may pay with their lives. Well, one thing is clear, this is one of the most bizarre murder plots in decades.
In
No, I'm not going over Rachel Zegler.
2017, two women were facing the death penalty because they pulled a prank on some random guy. But it turns out their prank was actually part of a James Bond-style assassination, and the women had no clue that they just committed the worst crime.
That's... How could you not know you... How do you not know?
This is the bizarre story of how a YouTube prank killed Kim Jong-un's brother. I'm Visual Venture, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. The prank of a lifetime. In 2017, two young women, CT and Dawn, were offered what seemed like the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to become celebrities. All they had to do was star on a prank show that would be aired on YouTube and TV.
Oh boy. Gotta love the prank shows, right? Gotta love the... You can be famous if you star on this prank show. Nope.
Gimana ya, terkenal kayak boom prank. Jadi saya juga mikirnya, oh ya udahlah gitu.
To these young women, it was a dream come true. They were going to be paid $100 to $150 per prank, meaning if they pranked 10 people a day, they could make $1,000 to $1,500 daily. Not many.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing, just on a mission to prank people? This is like Mission Impossible, but for pranks.
YouTube channels can afford to pay that much. The way CT and Dawn got hired was pretty strange. There was no interview, no application, no nothing. Before this job came up, CT and Dawn didn't even live in the same country. CT was in Malaysia working part-time as a masseuse in a spa, but the spa wasn't exactly what it seemed. Let's just say it offered extra services. One night, CT met a man at a bar who called himself James. After chatting for a while, he offered her a spot in a new reality show where she'd play pranks on random strangers. Meanwhile, the second woman, Dawn, was working as an escort thousands of miles away in Hanoi, Vietnam. She met
so they didn't even know each other.
Another man who called himself Mr. Y, also at a bar. Soon enough, he offered her the chance to be on the same prank show. CT and Dawn didn't know each other and lived in different countries, but they were both thinking the same thing. This job wasn't just about the money or fame for them. They spent years doing whatever they could to survive, often in ways they weren't proud of.
So this could have been... This is why they were desperate. This could have been a really big deal for them if they could get hired and prank people.
But now they finally found a job they'd feel proud to tell their families about. However, this dream job was about to become a nightmare because James and Mr. Y weren't talent scouts or content creators. They were actually hitmen from North Korea. As you know, North Korea is one of the most oppressive countries in the world, run by a ruthless dictator, Kim Jong-un. He rules with an iron fist, jailing citizens over things as simple as wearing jeans, watching foreign TV shows, and having the wrong hairstyle.
Yeah, don't do any of those things in North Korea, and don't think that Kim Jong-un is anything but God. Because you will die.
Sometimes he even sends assassins to other countries to hunt down and eliminate people he considers enemies. And these North Korean spies, James and Mr. Y, were on a mission to carry out their next hit on behalf of the dictator. But they needed to make sure that this particular hit couldn't be traced back to North Korea. So they came up with a plan. They trick everyone else into doing the dirty work for them.
There you go. That'll help. If you're not doing the dirty work yourself, then nobody can trace it back
That's
to you.
where CT and Dawn came in. They were young, naive, and struggling to make a better life for themselves. In other words, they were perfect victims. James and Mr. Y made an offer too tempting to pass up, offering the women fame, fortune, and a chance to escape their tough lives. The spies promised to fly CT and Dawn around the world, pulling pranks in famous cities like Macau and America.
Wow. So this is insane. Like, this is how desperate they were, that they thought they could make it as prank YouTubers, just being picked up off the street.
But there was one catch. They needed to pull one big prank at an airport. That prank was special, and if it went well, it would make them stars. To prepare, CT and Dawn had to practice the pranks to make sure they'd be perfect for the big day. From January 5th to January 9th, 2017, James made CT practice in malls and hotels around Kuala Lumpur. She'd walk up to random men, ask them to close their eyes, and then spray them with water. Then
If
she'd
only
laugh,
Johnny
apologize,
Somali
and run
thought
away
that
while
back.
James filmed it all. Next, James flew CT to Cambodia for more training. That's where she met Mr. Chang, the main producer for the YouTube channel. Mr. Chang took over her training and things got serious. CT went through several practice runs and they were really impressed with her skills.
So they actually had them practice, or had the one girl practice this over and over again to try to get everything correctly. So interesting.
They even raised her pay to $200 per prank, which was way more than she earned as an escort. Meanwhile, back in Vietnam, Dawn was also getting her own training. Mr. Y would point out people in the crowd for Dawn to prank. She'd sneak up behind them, rub a harmless substance on their face, and then run off laughing.
That's what a weird prank. I'm sorry. That's just like, I don't know if that's something in Asian culture that's considered funny or something. I don't know. Like, why is that a prank?
Stuff she rubbed on her face was harmless. There was even security footage showing Dawn practicing her pranks in a Vietnamese airport. At this point, neither woman suspected a thing. They thought they were training for pranks, but actually they were rehearsing for an assassination. In February 2017, just days before their big prank at the Malaysian airport, CT and Dawn were buzzing with excitement. This was it, the prank that would launch their careers. Well, they were right about one thing. They were going to become famous, just not in the way they'd imagine.
Yeah, no shit. Surprise! You killed the dictator of North Korea's brother.
The plan. In the morning of February 13th, 2017, CT showed up at the Malaysian airport, heart racing with excitement. At 8 a.m., she sat down with Mr. Chang in a coffee house that offered an excellent view of the airport terminal. Mr. Chang's instructions were simple but specific. CT would sneak up behind the target, smear a substance on his face, and then quickly leave to wash her hands. Mr. Chang told CT that a second woman would join the prank. This other woman was Dawn, who'd been given similar directions by Mr. Y.
Why are they both having to rub something on his face?
Day at the airport was the very first time CT and Dawn ever met. But in a few minutes, they would become partners in one of the strangest assassinations in history. Mr. Chang took a small container out of his backpack and poured an oily substance onto CT's hands. At the same time, Mr. Y handed Dawn a cloth soaked in a similar oily liquid.
Weird Like, why are they both having to touch this guy? Isn't one of them enough?
The liquid had a weird smell like machine oil. That was strange because it was different from the liquid they used when practicing the pranks. But this oily substance wasn't just different, it was toxic. It was called VX, one of the deadliest poisons known to man.
I've heard of VX. I don't know exactly what VX does to people, but I've heard of it.
So what exactly is VX? It is the most powerful nerve agent ever created.
VX is classified as a weapon of mass destruction and banned around the world. Just 30 micrograms, which is less than a grain of sugar, can be fatal. It attacks the nervous system, disrupting signals between nerves and muscles. At first, VX causes drowsiness, headaches, and nausea. Within minutes, those symptoms turn into full body paralysis.
Modesty is different in America. That's true.
And then death. If VX is so dangerous, why didn't it make CT and Doan sick? Well, it's made up of two separate components. As long as the two parts are separate, they're harmless. But when those two parts are mixed together, they turn into a deadly substance.
Which is why they both needed to touch him. I get it now, because that way, if they both touch him, then both substances mix together.
Since CT and Doan each had only one part of the substance on their hands, they were completely safe. But if everything went according to plan, both parts of the VX would be on their target's face in just a few minutes. As they sat there waiting to pull off the prank, they were buzzing with excitement. They had no clue that they were about to end someone's life. The North Korean spies chose Malaysia for a reason. It was one of the few countries where North Korea could enter without a visa. This relaxed travel policy, meant to boost tourism, gave the agents the freedom to move without raising suspicion. 4 North Korean agents arrived at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport to oversee the assassination. They blended into the crowd, posing as ordinary tourists and businessmen. As CT, Doan, and Mr. Chang waited, their target arrived at the airport. Mr. Chang pointed him out. He was a middle-aged man in a gray blazer carrying a dark backpack and checking in under the name Kim Chol. As CT and Doan watched their target stroll through the airport, they had no idea he was more than just an ordinary businessman.
So they had literally no clue that this was the brother of Kim Jong-un, and they had no idea that they had the ingredients for VX on them.
In reality, he was Kim Jong-nam, the older brother of North Korea's dictator. But why would the dictator send hitmen to eliminate his own brother? Kim Jong-un's brother, Kim Jong-nam, was once set to be the next leader of North Korea. As
there you go, that's a good reason.
the oldest son of the former dictator, Kim Jong-nam was raised like a prince. But when he turned 30, he did something that embarrassed his entire country. He was arrested trying to enter Japan with a fake passport so he could visit Disneyland Japan.
It's a mixture of nerve toxin and a blood toxin. Jesus. That is, oof.
The much publicized incident is said to have deeply embarrassed his father, cementing Kim Jong-il's negative view of his eldest son.
The scandal cost Kim Jong-nam his spot as the heir. Instead, his younger brother Kim Jong-un was made next in line to rule the country. Because of this, Kim Jong-nam moved to Macau in China. But although he was far away, he lived in constant fear. Kim Jong-nam's worries began after his father passed and his younger brother Kim Jong-un took over as North Korea's supreme leader.
Gee, he must have known something about his brother. My brother is crazy.
The two brothers did not get along, and Kim Jong-nam often gave interviews criticizing his brother's harsh rule. Things escalated when rumors spread that Kim Jong-nam was selling North Korean secrets to the CIA.
Oh, that'll be a, yeah, that'll do it. If that's true, that would definitely piss off Kim Jong-un.
That's when the dictator Kim Jong-un decided to silence his older brother for good. This brings us back to February 13th, 2017, when Kim Jong-nam arrived at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. In the crowded airport, he felt safe. He had no idea that he was walking right into a trap: the assassination As Kim Jong-nam entered the airport's departure hall, everything seemed normal. People hurried by dragging their luggage and checking flight boards. Kim blended right in. A few feet away, CT and Don were making their way toward him with VX poison on their hands.
This is so insane. He's just minding his own business, walking through the airport. He thinks he's okay. There they come.
Kim got closer.
They
to
don't
the
even
check-in
know
area.
what they're
sprang
doing.
into
They
action.
think this is
CT
just
rushed to Kim from behind. She covered his eyes as if playing peekaboo and then wiped her hands over his mouth, leaving an oily smear. Before he could react, Don was right there too. She lunged forward and rubbed a cloth across his face.
He's approached by this woman at the airport, and as you can see, a second woman there is lunging from behind. She has a cloth and holds it over his face.
Remember, VX is made of two separate components that are harmless on their own. CT and Don each carried one part which kept them safe. But
especially because they don't even know that this is an assassination. So they have no idea that they're pawns in this, and they are just doing this, and they think it's
parts
funny.
mixed on Kim Jong-nam's face, the VX became toxic. The whole attack took just seconds. CT and Don hurried off in opposite directions, leaving Kim standing alone with the oily stuff on his face. At least 6 CCTV cameras captured the incident. Within moments, Kim realized something was seriously wrong. His vision started to blur and his skin felt hot. He stumbled
that quick, huh?
Toward the airport clinic, desperate for help. Kim was rushed into an ambulance, but it was too late. He never made it to the hospital. It was obvious that this was an assassination. In the days after the incident, everything was a big mystery. The victim's passport identified him as Kim Chol from North Korea. When North Korea was informed about his demise, they confirmed that Kim Chol was his real name and insisted on getting his body back right away without an autopsy.
Yeah, we don't want an autopsy. Just give us back the body, please. Nothing to see here. Move along, please, everybody. Don't ask questions, Malaysia.
But Malaysian authorities were suspicious.
No
Why was North
shit.
Korea so eager to claim the body to avoid an autopsy? Malaysia refused to return the body without running a few tests. After a series of DNA tests, the truth was revealed. Kim Chol was actually Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un.
These new details are disturbing, to say the least.
Terrifying, Amy. This is a truly shocking development.
As news of the victim's identity spread, everyone wondered who might be responsible. But to most people, it was obvious that North Korea was behind it.
Yeah, who's responsible? Gee, I wonder who it could be.
Jong-nam was considered an enemy of North Korea, and the use of VX poison made the situation more suspicious. VX isn't a chemical that ordinary criminals get their hands on. It was rare. However, North Korea reportedly had stockpiles of VX and could produce it in industrial quantities. The Malaysian police reviewed the airport's CCTV footage and saw CT and Don rubbing something on Kim's face before running away. The whole crime was caught live on camera. The cops launched a manhunt for the two women. Meanwhile, CT and Don still had no clue what they did.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, that was a funny prank. Can we have our money now?
After the prank, they washed their hands, got paid, and left the airport. Just days after the assassination, authorities tracked down CT and Don and arrested them. As they were led away in handcuffs, both women looked confused. Up until that moment, they had no idea what really happened.
So could you imagine being those women? How terrifying that would be. They honestly think they're just doing some harmless prank, and then the police show up a few days later and arrest them.
Investigators in Malaysia have arrested a suspected female secret agent in this James Bond-style hit.
CT actually thought that being in jail was part of the prank, but as the truth set in, CT and Don faced a terrifying reality. Their prank had taken a man's life. Now,
that would have been an elaborate prank, though. To be in jail as part of the prank, that would have been super elaborate.
They were being charged with murder.
I don't think
and the
I would have thought
prosecution
that.
was demanding the highest possible punishment: death. Guilty or innocent. On March 1st, 2017, CT and Don were taken into a Malaysian high court by armed soldiers where they were officially charged.
25-year-old
traumatizing
Indonesian
at all.
Siti Asia and 28-year-old Vietnamese Doan Tin Huan appeared publicly in court for the first time since their arrest to hear the charges.
Throughout their trial, they were stuck behind bars. The Malaysian prison was terrible. The cells were overcrowded, the beds were uncomfortable, and they had to use a bucket as a toilet.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. Sounds like amazing prison conditions.
CT and Doan held onto a sliver of hope that someone would believe they were innocent. They thought maybe they could convince the judge they'd been tricked. They heard two things that made them hopeful. First, the Malaysian police arrested a North Korean man who might be connected.
Not even the most neurotoxin acts like that. Sarin still needs to make its way to the synapse. I don't know about this stuff.
To the case. Then Interpol issued a red notice, which was like an arrest warrant for 4 more people identified as suspects.
Good.
Surely
These poor
this meant that they
women
were
can
closing in on the real masterminds of the plot,
justice.
but only days later their hopes crumbled. The North Korean suspect was released because there wasn't enough evidence linking him to the crime. Malaysian police admitted they believed he was involved in the plot but lacked evidence to prove it. The other
That is horrible. Knowing that you have somebody, but you have to let them go because you don't have evidence to charge them. That has to be gut-wrenching.
spies also found ways to escape arrest, most of them disappearing without a trace.
All 4 are suspected intelligence agents with code names like Mr. Y and Grandpa, but none has been arrested. All fled the country for North Korea within hours of the killing.
With no one to blame,
Of course. Why would they not? North Korea has protection.
the full weight of the case fell on CT and Doan. The prosecution had an open and shut case. The CCTV footage showed everything. CT and Doan rushing up to Kim Jong-nam, smearing VX on his face, and then running off quickly. The most suspicious part was that both women ran straight to the bathroom to wash their hands. If they didn't know the chemical was dangerous, why were they so desperate to clean up?
That's a good question. Unless they were specifically instructed to do so, but still, like, that's a very good point.
Argued that CT and Doan had been recruited by 4 North Korean operatives and trained as assassins to carry out the poisoning. It was a long trial. Weeks turned into months, turned into years. CT and Doan started to lose faith. They sat quietly in court each day, watching their hopes of freedom fade. Then in March 2019, something surprising happened. The prosecutors dropped the murder charge against CT and decided to put all the blame on Doan.
Oh. Why? But why just the one girl? That took both of them to do it.
The plot twist. As we already know, the CCTV footage showed CT and Doan committing the crime. However, on March 11th, 2019, prosecutors told CT she was free to go. They dropped the murder charge, released her that day, and put her on a private jet heading to Jakarta, Indonesia.
The 26-year-old Indonesian was released from custody Monday morning after prosecutors told the court they'd been instructed to withdraw charges, though they wouldn't say why.
Speaking
Happy Christmas to you, Fury Kitten.
to reporters, tears in her eyes, CT said, "I'm very happy. I didn't expect my release. This is my day of freedom." They didn't give an official reason for letting her go, but there's a likely explanation. Although the assassination happened in Malaysia, CT and Doan weren't Malaysian citizens. Doan was from Vietnam and CT was from Indonesia. Behind the scenes, the Indonesian government was pushing hard for CT's release. Top officials, including the president, made countless calls to Malaysian leaders, pressuring them to free CT because she'd been tricked.
Okay. So the government of Indonesia was actually doing the right
It
thing.
hinted that if CT stays in prison, it might strain relations between Indonesia and Malaysia.
Yeah.
Eventually, Malaysia gave in to the pressure and sent CT back to Indonesia. For Doan, though, things were very different. Being from Vietnam, she didn't have Indonesia's help. Even after CT was released, the court wouldn't drop the charges against Doan. Her lawyers argued that it was unfair, but nothing changed.
Well, it is unfair. She was tricked too. Why should she be hit with the whole murder
Doan
charge?
was left to face the trial alone. The stress took a toll on her. She lost weight, couldn't sleep, and often broke down in tears. Without CT there, she felt completely alone. Then on April 1st, 2019, things took a sudden turn. Prosecutors offered Doan a reduced charge for voluntary causing injury with a dangerous weapon. It wasn't total freedom, but it meant a lot less prison time and, most importantly, no death penalty.
Yeah, no death sentence. Big bonus.
Doan pleaded guilty and her sentence was announced. 3 years and 4 months. But with good behavior and 2 years in jail, Doan was finally free. Now, the two innocent women are back home trying to piece their lives back together.
Good.
CT and Doan's story is a reminder of how easily people can be manipulated. In the pursuit of a better life, they were used in a way they could have never imagined. My friends, if something looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Yep.
Visual Venture. If you guys like this
He's not
video,
wrong.
then watch my video on how
He's not wrong about that. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. He's absolutely correct about that. There's there are so many different what's the word I'm looking for? Examples of things being too good to be true. So, let's see here. I am going to get us to our next video.
This is this is.
So let's take a quick look at this video. She quit OnlyFans. She quit computer science to join or to do OnlyFans. This is the problem. This is why I am so sick of OnlyFans, and and it sucks because it was money, but it's just so, like, there are so many women that are doing so many things that just don't. I can't justify doing OnlyFans anymore. So this video is probably going to illustrate another reason why.
This is a very common thing nowadays. It's called a PhD dropout to OnlyFans model.
Yes. And that's the problem, is there are so many girls that have a good future of like actual intelligent future, and they drop out of and go to OnlyFans because they see how much money these other women are making by doing ridiculously raunchy stuff, like the woman who was sleeping with the Santa Claus in the middle of the street in New York. And it's just ridiculous. Where am I here?
I've dropped out of my PhD. I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision, not that I'm particularly sad about it. I'll get into all of that in a bit later, but moving on to doing OnlyFans and content creation full-time, it's not just a career choice, it feels kind of like a gamble on the direction of my entire life. Some days I wonder if I'm making the right choice. When I open LinkedIn and I see the pages of all of the people who are my age, who already have 3 years into their careers and are climbing the ladder with senior level titles, it stirs something in me.
Yeah, and it should. So why quit that and go to OnlyFans? I don't understand.
I start to feel a twinge of jealousy, imagining what it would be like in their place. I've spent the last couple of years in grad school, whereas many of my colleagues from undergrad got jobs directly afterwards. Okay. So I guess
why y'all say it's AI? Like, she got a bunch of videos. Why y'all say it's AI?
Or this 1,000
This is like the
guys in
new. This is like the
24
new
hours chick?
thing that
Yeah,
like dumb people
that
do.
bitch is gross.
Is that every single time that they see something that feels or seems robotic, they start spamming AI.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong.
Always have those advanced degrees with me. But I can't say that I
embarrassing.
don't like the idea of wearing a polished suit and walking into an office where
Yeah.
I have people working with me and working on a project, or even the alternative route of becoming a professor and having students work for me, where
Work for you or work under you? So you don't know what you want.
I have my own lab and I teach my own course, and the thought of sitting with my team to come up with solutions to a certain problem, or even find something new, learn something new, and then applying that knowledge and writing
So she's not a
papers
team
gives
player.
a sense of fulfillment, you know?
She's not a team player, is what she's saying. She's saying that she does not work well with other people.
There's some sort of camaraderie in those environments and a structure that I think I'd enjoy. And of course, not to mention the outfits. I mean, come on. I have so many professional outfits that have never
Well, now you can use the professional outfits. It's not the same way, but you can still use the professional outfits.
Yeah.
seen the light
Yeah.
of day, just because I have nowhere to wear
Like
them
the
to.
roleplay content's super popular.
And of course I keep buying them. And part of me wonders if I'll miss the chance to experience that life and that lifestyle. But
Well, what, like, she sounds super regretful already that she's quit her PhD and like or that she doesn't even have a job. Like, what it sounds to me like she should have a job instead
then
of
I start to think about some of the
OnlyFans.
trade-offs. Those same people whose lifestyles I thought I envied are tied to someone else's vision and
Yeah.
someone else's pace. They'll spend their lives working for a company, doing things that they don't necessarily enjoy, and
Yeah.
of course without the recognition that they deserve.
I
Their
don't
work-
think you're gonna get a lot of recognition for doing OnlyFans. I
No,
mean, like,
no.
people hate OnlyFans. I feel like
They really do. Like, you would get more recognition if you like started a YouTube channel or tried to do streaming on Twitch or something like that. But if you were like just trying to do OnlyFans, people are so sick of OnlyFans girls now.
that's something that's gonna happen. Like, it really doesn't. The thing is that if you live your life looking for recognition from other people, you'll never be happy. So it doesn't really matter like what the reason is or anything like that. It reduces you. Yeah, exactly. Future marriage too. Nah, there's plenty of guys that are gonna date a girl that does OnlyFans.
Yes,
Because
there
a
are.
lot of the girls that do
Plenty of guys will date an OnlyFans girl. That's not a problem.
OnlyFans are hot. So that's really what it comes down to. No, if you're an attractive girl, you're gonna be able to find a guy that's gonna marry you.
Yes.
Like, that's just it. And so, like, and rich, you have a bunch of money. Like, it's just not what happened. I think that's like a cope that people that think that it's unfair that girls like her can make a lot of money doing OnlyFans. It's like a cope that they have where it's like,
It's not unfair that they make a lot of money doing OnlyFans. It kind of is, because they like sell off their respect for it. But at the same time, it's like, if people want to pay for that, that's what they want to pay for. But it's like, it's so, like, the way to make money on OnlyFans is to be as raunchy as you can possibly be, and that's just not what I'm willing to do.
it's kind of like what I always said about how people, like, the reason why, like, hell and, like, you know, like, sinning exists is so people that do the right thing can cope about people that do the wrong thing and get ahead in life. That, like, they're gonna go to hell,
Yeah.
they're gonna be set on fire forever.
Is that
And so it's
bad?
like, it makes them feel better about the current situation. And so like, but the reality is that's probably not happening. And the same thing with this. They might marry you, but not what you're looking for in a man. There's plenty of guys that are totally normal that would date a girl that has OnlyFans. Like it's extremely common. Like as soon as you step outside the internet, there's a lot of guys that probably don't really give a fuck about it. And
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. If you step outside the internet where the red pill people don't go, you'll probably find people who just don't care.
it's not going to be everybody, right? It's not going to be
No.
every guy. Sure, there are people that have a problem with it too.
What?
But to act like you can't.
No girl's gonna want to date it. No guy's gonna want to date a girl that has an OnlyFans.
Oh.
It's like the dumbest shit possible. It's like that's like saying no dude's gonna date a movie star who shows her tits on the screen.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Get a boyfriend
Then again,
after
we're
that.
also dealing with idiots that are like, get an ad blocker.
Yeah.
What about the people that get money from ad revenue? Well, they should just get support from the They should just get support from their community. Isn't that just communism with extra steps?
No, or you go. They should get support from their community. Okay, here's my Streamlabs link. Fuck you.
Yeah. You know, that's the problem.
No, if you're an attractive female, you can get a guy to date you.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? It's not even it's not even a question.
Work might win someone else fame
Yeah.
and wealth
Girl,
while
don't
they
give a
stay in the
shit.
background.
It's I don't know. It's just there are so many women that do OnlyFans now that make it just so saturated and take away from the message that I originally had, which was you can be disabled and sexy. And it's no longer fun to post to it anymore. It's just and nobody like and every time, honestly, now that I'm not posting to the OnlyFans, I'm getting more interaction and everything on my other platforms.
Expendable.
Except for Twitch for some reason.
They'll constantly worry about getting laid off, planning their lives around
Yeah.
their salaries, budgeting to pay bills, and likely renting a place to live or being tied down to a 30-year mortgage. Vacations are rationed and squeezed into limited paid time off days. My path, on the other hand, is different. It's freer in ways that feel both liberating and, to be honest, a little terrifying. I'm no longer bound by the expectations of an academic institution or the constraints of a corporate office.
Well, why did you have to quit school, though? I don't know, like, why can't you be educated and sexy? I don't know.
I feel like that's also like, but you're
Yes.
still going to be bound by the constraints of a bunch of like horny like 45-year-old men, right? And so like, is that really better than a bunch of educated 45-year-old men? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it really depends on what you want to do. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I see it, right? It depends.
Mm-hmm.
And comfortably wake up each day and decide what I want to learn, diving into topics that genuinely interest me and not just those deemed important by a funding agency or a company's bottom line. And when it comes to research, I'm no longer bound by the pressure to publish for the sake of tenure or grant applications.
Well, so do you still plan on publishing and researching? Do you still plan on being a student?
Still publishing, right? It's just on a different website, but yeah.
Can write papers independently, not because I need to meet a quota, but because I genuinely want to contribute to something. Everything that I create will reflect my own ideas, my own creativity, and my own ambitions. And of course, the best part is that everything I build will be entirely my own. I'm not contributing to someone else's legacy or bottom line. I'm building my own brand and my own future.
You're making OnlyFans sound way more noble than it is. I'm sorry. It's you're making content on the internet. And yes, it is going into business for yourself, and you can do what you want and produce what you want and publish what you want and be independent. But like the way you're put. Ah.
That's all she's really got. She looks kind of frumpy.
She sounds very flat. Like her affect, the way she's talking.
Well, there's a whole thread. So I went and looked into this a little bit. I went and I looked into this just a tad. So I went to her Twitter.
Okay.
And Zara, she's part like Iranian or part Persian.
Okay.
That's the only part of her that's Middle Eastern. Everything else is like white.
Okay.
So she kind of has that. She's got that look of all the Western she's got the look of Western Asian women.
Right.
Okay. That's, she has a specific look about her. Okay. And that's the only thing that she's got going. And she's got probably about 15 years before her body and her looks go in one of the two directions of all Western Asian women. And it's the same thing as all Asian women do. And everyone, if you know Asian women, you know what I'm talking about. They either go, "Ooh, super hot," or they go, "Ooh, are you a man?"
Well, but I mean, like the way she talks.
Yeah.
She sounds like her affect is very like.
She sounds dumb.
Boring.
Out. Oh, you're showing. What are you showing me? Well, there's nowhere to do that. We'll do that later.
What?
He has his bugs, but he wants to put them on display in here, but there's nowhere to put them.
Oh.
We have to build a shelf. Shoot! We'll build a shelf later.
And all of
There's no future in doing OnlyFans. Any girl that does it, like, that falls off a cliff at 30.
Select a boy, what's up?
It's just biology. It's just the way it is. There's no future in it. Like, you can transition to, like... And there are girls that do it beyond that, right? But, like... It just goes down by, like, probably 20% every single year after that.
Yeah.
Some girls are hotter at 35 than 20. I mean, sure, right? And that's always... Hey, that's all... There's always going to be exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we're not talking about exceptions. Like, this is... what are we thinking about exceptions for?
The whole point about what he's saying is, for the most part, you don't have a future in making OnlyFans
Talking
content.
about, like, on an average. Plenty of guys into MILFs?
Yeah.
Then why aren't any of them popular on Twitch?
Because MILFs have a certain level of self-respect. Because they have children.
Oh, that's right. Because it's not real. So, I understand people like to they like to think like this. Let's be real, right? Like, you look at the numbers, you see what it is. I'm just saying this is what the numbers are. You don't like the numbers, that's fine.
Effort that I put directly benefits me.
All women are
the
hotter at
rewards
35
are
than
mine
20.
to enjoy.
Facts.
For example, although my OnlyFans has been a side project while I pursued my PhD, I've been able to make over $1 million.
What the fuck? How? See, this is the thing, because these women will do collabs with other people, and they will, like, do sex work. And that's why they're able to make this kind of money.
With that, I helped
That
my
is not
family pay off
something I
their
am willing to
mortgage.
do.
I bought myself
Yeah,
a
OnlyFans makes a lot of money for, like, a handful of girls. Like, no, it's true. They make a lot of money.
Of girls.
Now,
a handful. Not a lot, though.
Now, obviously, like, a lot of girls don't make that much money, and, like, the
No.
majority of them don't. It's not like if you are, you know, like, if you're an attractive female, like, you're just instantly going to be a millionaire. But the reality is that a lot of them do make a lot of money.
They do. Because they're willing to do things that will make them the money.
Of course they do. Yeah, sure. Attractive, so I'm not surprised. Yeah.
car, and thankfully I avoided taking out any
She's
student
also
loans.
insanely attractive. Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Is like the girls that can do this.
It's not just that. The reason they make a lot of money is that they're 10 hours out of their day, 10 to 12 hours of their day is literally posting and having to chat. Most of this money that they get comes from chats. So they have to sext. So they're sexting for 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day in some of these girls' cases to get that money, to get those tip messages. They're not doing content. They're mostly just chatting. And if you talk to any of the ones that are burnt out, that's what burns them out. Is the constant chatting, because there are guys that they're whales, like they have whales. And what will happen is the whales that they have will say, "Hey, are you there? Hello?" And if you don't answer like right away, then they're like fun. They're r/nice guys.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're actually. I wish there is a Reddit thread. I can't remember where it is of where these girls post this shit, because they have a specific Reddit forum between all the creators.
Yeah.
In which they post these guys that do that, like the ones that they don't want. There's a whole lists of banned accounts. But the primary thing though is they get this guys from these whales that insist on they want the girlfriend experience.
Right.
The girlfriend experience is what primarily breaks all of these women.
And the girlfriend experience is what I'm not willing to provide.
Because one, it wouldn't be you doing it, and two, I don't catfish.
No.
So. All right, continue.
It's the same as like the probability of you being in the NBA if you're over 7 feet tall is like 10% or something like that, right? Yeah. Like I don't know,
not every 7 foot tall person is a basketball player.
Number. So like if you have a genetic extremity, then there are going to be like extra opportunities that exist, but that's not really a normal thing that you can expect.
Yeah.
Now I have an investment portfolio and I'm planning on buying my own house soon.
Yeah, there's tons of girls that do OnlyFans make tons of money though. It does happen.
It does happen. It absolutely does happen. But you have to be willing to do a lot of things that are not conducive to self-respect.
All of these achievements are just reminders of the tangible rewards of carving my own path and the freedom that comes with it. But even with this freedom, I am genuinely terrified. I fear not having that external competition, no one to measure myself against, and that it will make...
What do you mean? You can just measure yourself against other girls.
Yeah. It literally, in your statements thing, it'll tell you where you are in the percentage of creators on OnlyFans. You can see, like, you're in the top X% of creators on OnlyFans. There you go. There's your competition.
Guys do that all the time. Like, yeah, go stream on Twitch. You get measured against every other person on the website. Easy. Problem solved.
Make me complacent. Will I push myself enough without the pressure to outperform others? And of course, there's also the opposite case, that my drive for more will take over. What if I never feel satisfied, always chasing that next milestone, the next goal? Will I lose sight of myself and values in that relentless pursuit? Of course,
I think that's something that, like, if you do that, that's totally on you.
It is. That's a you thing that you risk having happen to you regardless of whether you are employed by a company or in business for yourself.
Right? If you're the kind of person that, like, getting to certain benchmarks makes you happy, if that happens to you more than twice, the reality is that you're probably just looking for something to fill a hole in your own life. You know, like, and it's like, really, there's no benchmark that's really going to make you happy. Thanks for 5 subs, man. Thank you.
I want to enjoy the life I'm building and feel the rewards of my labor, not just keep pushing forward endlessly. Then there's also the fear of settling. What if I get stuck in a place that feels just right but not great? What if I accept less than I know I'm capable of? And what if, in trying to avoid that, I push myself into something that I'm not entirely comfortable with?
Well, that's a big worry if you're an OnlyFans person, pushing yourself into something that you're not comfortable with.
Forcing myself to fit in a mold that doesn't feel natural. It's overwhelming, but when I look at the bigger picture, I know I'm better off than most people my age, or even those that are far older than I am. That's part of
making
why
$1 million, and she's like,
true, but oh wow, that had to suck, Fury Kitten.
like in her 20s or 30s. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
I chose
Yeah.
to leave
Probably
academia.
at least, like, the
Just
top
for
half,
some
right?
reference, a professor in the U.S. earns
Yep.
around $100,000 on average, but the job isn't what most people imagine.
Yeah. The stigma is the problem.
Imagine it to be, or at least it's not what I thought it would be. Instead of spending their time diving into
The one
research,
thing that sucks about OnlyFans is there's not as many hot girls that are at like Quiznos or CC's Pizza, right? Because like any of the really hot ones now they're at home doing OnlyFans. So
Yeah.
you go, there's like a deflation of the attractive girls that work at like GameStop or Target or something like that, because now they're all doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Have y'all know?
That's the thing. All the hot girls have gone online.
Notice that? It's ho deflation. It's not hoflation. It's the opposite.
Ho deflation.
or contributing to new
Yeah.
ideas in the field, most of
I
the
mean, I
energy
can't be
is
the only
spent
one that's
writing
seen
grant
this, right?
proposals and fighting for
I'm
funding.
not crazy.
Which, based on my first-hand experience working with several professors, these funds often go to those at more prestigious universities, regardless
surprise.
of whether they're more qualified. Additionally, their students often do majority of the hands-on work,
Yeah, sure.
and the
Yeah.
professor acts more as an administrator.
That's true.
It's a life filled with constraints and obligations.
Professors are doing a lot of like paperwork, faculty meetings, department bullshit.
Not the idealized
They're not
pursuit of
doing
knowledge
the-
I once dreamed of.
Yeah,
so
they're
what
not
about
doing
working in
that.
the industry?
That's the
Well,
TA's
the reality
job.
is that it's no better. Big tech, for all its allure of innovation and opportunity, is a world where the individual contributions are mostly invisible.
Do you remember
Yeah.
when
The
Twitch
work
was
you
for
pour
games,
your
not for
heart
hot
into
tub
is
thoughts?
really
Hey, I'm still trying to make it for games.
attributed to you.
Go follow my Twitch
Instead,
channel.
it
I'm
pads
2
the
away from
pockets
500.
of the executives who sit at the top, taking the credit and the glory for your work.
Mhm.
Employees are treated as interchangeable, expendable. Every job
I
comes.
think that, like, really, I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, everybody's expendable, everybody's
Yeah.
interchangeable. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But like, if you're unhappy about the way that, like, you get treated as an employee, I think you're going to be really unhappy about the way that you get treated as an OnlyFans model.
I agree. Yeah. Nobody, if you think you don't get respected as an employee, then just wait till some of the people you deal with on OnlyFans show up.
That's the way I see it, right?
Mhm.
Because, like, a lot of the people treat those girls like meat.
Yep.
That's it. And like, I feel like, you're kind of running yourself into a problem.
with
She's really idealizing OnlyFans. Like, really, really making it seem like way more professional, I guess, than it is.
that silent anxiety of
Yeah.
layoffs, the knowledge that your position is only as secure as the next quarterly earnings report. It's a precarious,
credibility, go to
thankless
Pornhub. It's
existence,
one of the
one
most-
that
most
I think
stable
would
streaming
stifle my
platforms, and no one
creativity
will
and
judge.
autonomy. I know that I'm choosing something harder, but in the end, more fulfilling.
That's kind of funny.
This journey isn't easy, but it's entirely mine. I wasn't born into a wealthy family or handed opportunities on a silver platter. Every step forward I take,
I think being an attractive female is definitely an opportunity that people are given, and it's not really something that you earn. It's just it's just RNG, right?
Milestone I reach will be the result of my own vision. That thought on its own is intimidating, but
Obviously
it's also incredibly empowering. It's a reminder that I have the freedom to carve out a life of my own on my own terms. A freedom that so many people will never experience because they're just too afraid to break the norms that are set by society.
Again, it's not that deep. You've decided to be an OnlyFans model. It's not that deep.
That's
not the reason. The reason why other people don't do that is because they're not, people wouldn't pay money to see them naked. It's actually really simple, right? And so, like, if you can't look at why somebody would, like, most people can't do OnlyFans because they're not attractive. Like, that's just the way it is. And so, like, it's really a survivorship bias that you see with this, because a lot of the girls that do it are, like, in the top 5 to 1% of appearance.
That is true. And the other thing is that they're willing to do things like sext with people and collab with people and do things like that, and that's what'll make them the money.
They are. I mean, I've been to Walmart. You been to Walmart? I've been to Target. You been to Target? I've been to Home Depot. Have you been to Home Depot? Let's be honest here. And so, anyway, it's extremely rare. Like, cause I like there's always been. Well, let me finish it.
Importantly, I need to learn to be kinder to myself. I have the tendency to be overly critical, always pushing myself to do more, to be better. But I'm realizing that this growth doesn't always come from harshness. It also comes from compassion. And I know that if I want to thrive in this new chapter, I need to give myself permission to rest, to make mistakes and learn from them without the guilt or self-punishment. This life I'm building is like a masterpiece in progress.
Dude, you're becoming an OnlyFans model. It's not masterpiece in progress. It's not that deep.
Guarantees, but that's what makes it exciting. It's mine to create, and I know deep down that it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. It's probably a better idea for a girl to do OnlyFans than to get a normal job, because it just makes so much money if you're like top 1% attractiveness. I think that's definitely true. Because like if you make, let's say, $2 million in the time that you have OnlyFans, like you're making that, a lot of that money you're going to be able to invest into like residual funds that pay you out on a regular basis.
Or like you can invest that money, you can buy a home, you can do a lot with that money.
And you're going to be able to live the rest of your life and never have to work, right?
Yeah.
And so you can work after that. Maybe it would fuck up your employment, maybe not, but there's always going to be ways that people can find to make money. And so it's definitely the right decision to make. People might not want to hear that, but that's it. She already has accounts on 18+ sites. Yeah, it's a good decision, obviously.
It may be the right decision to make, but you don't have to make it seem like... You don't have to make it seem like you're like some altruistic person making some big... Just like... You decided to quit school to become an OnlyFans girl. That's what you decided to do. And that's fine. That's fine. But you don't have to, like, make it seem like it's a huge deal. Is it just me, or does she sound like a bad AI? That's what somebody in Asmongold's chat said at the beginning of the video, actually. That's kind of funny. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do a bathroom break, and then we'll come back for a couple more videos.
I'm terrified and loving it. No regrets to keep me up at night. Feel so alive and loving it. I'm too scared, so I finally learned to find left to cry for the fun of it. Now I finally see the light. Don't wanna waste a single minute. Now I finally have you, got you by my side. So let's hit the ground. Okay. We are back. I'm gonna do a couple more videos. That one. When NASA gave LSD to dolphins to talk to aliens. What the fuck? That just sounds insane. That just sounds batshit crazy. Let's listen.
We at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration are taking the next steps towards interspecies communication. That's why here on St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, we have a team of researchers working around the clock to attempt to communicate with dolphins. Let's check in on them. Oh, for the love of all that is holy, what are you doing to that fish? Technically, he's a mammal.
I still have wine.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
I'm King Trout. Buckle up, kiddos. This one gets weird. Our story begins with an American research scientist by the name of John C. Lilly. Lilly was a neuroscientist who during the 40s and 50s conducted research on the structure of the human brain and human consciousness. Research which eventually led to him developing the first isolation tank. His fascination with the human brain expanded into a fascination with cetacean brains, cetacean being a family of sea-dwelling mammals, like dolphins, whales, and porpoises. You know, the kinds of...
Yeah, I'm with you there, Fury Kitten.
Being a family of sea-dwelling mammals, like dolphins, whales, and porpoises. You know, the kinds of sea-dwelling mammals that 5th graders and people who are no fun at parties like to inform you aren't fish. His fascination stemmed from the fact that these mammals have brains which are in most cases larger than human brains and appear to be as complex, if not more complex, than the human brain. And based on the observations that these cetaceans have such large and complex brains, Lilly made it his goal to develop communication between humans and cetaceans.
Okay. Why?
He founded what he called the Cetacean Nation.
Oh.
Cute. in an effort to first develop communication between human beings and cetaceans, and then second, allow these cetaceans to openly communicate politically as a nation.
Why? I'm very confused right now.
With the rest of the world. His logic being that such complex creatures should also have access to human rights. The same set of rights, anyway. He wanted the cetacean nation to be an active member of the
Who the
United...
hell wants to talk to dolphins? Fish, fish, fish. FFS. Cetaceans can't handle doing back zero.
nations. I'm serious. Now, obviously, none of this would be possible unless we could develop a way to communicate with the cetaceans, so he had to start there. He began his attempts to communicate with cetaceans, primarily dolphins, through the 1950s. Until
Why primarily dolphins? Why not humpback whales or blue whales? Why specifically dolphins?
in 1959, he founded the Communications Research Institute and built a facility on St. Thomas Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. With all of his focus on dolphin-based communications, he really kicked things into high gear. How could he afford to do this? Well, the United States Navy and NASA were cutting him a check. But why?
That's a very good question.
Well, the United States Navy and on St. Thomas were cutting him a check. But why? Aliens.
Aliens, huh? Sure, aliens.
I'm dead serious. I told you this one gets fucking weird. In 1960, astronomer Frank Drake and Carl Sagan got together and developed what they called the Drake equation. This was an equation to determine the likelihood that life exists off of planet Earth.
I've heard of the Drake equation.
And it turns out the odds are pretty fucking high.
Yes,
This
they are.
meeting was considered by many to be the first official step towards SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, NASA obviously was very interested in the possibility of extraterrestrial life existing, as was the US Navy in case we have to kill them.
In case we have to kill it, yes. It's always very important to know about extraterrestrial life in case you have to kill it.
Welcome to Earth. So research began in earnest. But then Drake and Sagan realized one small issue. If we did encounter extraterrestrial life, how the hell were we going to talk to them?
That's a very good question. Because pretty sure that extraterrestrial life doesn't speak any language on Earth.
Sagan had heard of Lily and figured, hey, if this guy can figure out a way to talk to dolphins, he could probably figure out a way to talk to aliens.
I'm saying there's no like.
So NASA
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and the US Navy began research funding for Lily's little dolphin experiment. In his attempts to communicate with dolphins prior to the funding from NASA and the Navy, Lily had noticed that the dolphins he was working with would breach the surface of the water and attempt to mimic the sounds of human speech.
What? Says Selective Boy? Yeah, this is exactly what I'm thinking.
This is noteworthy because in the wild, dolphins very rarely breach the surface of the water to communicate.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So they communicate only not only, but underwater most of the time.
After a few years of construction, the research center was finished, and Lily began his experiments primarily on 3 dolphins. At this same time, a native of St. Thomas Island by the name of Margaret Howe heard about this top-secret research facility from her brother, apparently, who had no connection to the research facility whatsoever.
Super top secret. He just somehow knew about it. Hello? Oh, a hat. A Christmas hat.
So how he found out about the top-secret dolphin facility, I don't know. But either way, she loved dolphins, so she went to the facility. She showed up at the research facility with no formal scientific training, but was like, hey guys, I like dolphins, and I heard you have dolphins. Can I come look at them? And they said yes for whatever reason. At this facility, she met Lily.
Math is the universal language. Yeah. I grew up on a peninsula. We had dolphins, seals, and whales. No one gave a shit about Flipper. It's a Yank thing.
who was impressed by the gall of her to just show up at his top secret dolphin facility. They got to talking, and she expressed her fascination ever since childhood with the concept of talking animals. Apparently, she had a very keen eye for the behavior of the dolphins at the facility, so Lily hired her. She began researching and recording the dolphins' behavior, but she had a request of Lily. She wanted to get closer to the dolphins.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Closer.
To quote Count Dankula, in the business, we call this foreshadowing.
That's scary.
She wanted to spend as much time as was physically possible with the dolphins, so she had a request for Lily. She asked that the research facility itself be flooded partially with water so that she could live full-time with the dolphins.
Okay, crazy lady.
And Lily agreed. Lily was often traveling at this time,
Okay,
so he
crazy
said,
man.
yeah, sure, whatever, you can run it. Are you ready for things to get really weird? I hope he said yes, because either way, here we go. In 1964, the
My, what a big
Dolphinarium
hat
was
you have.
completed, and Howe moved in with the three
All
dolphins.
the better I don't know, Christmas you with, my dear.
Dolphins. 1964, the Dolphinarium was completed, and Howe moved in with the three dolphins.
Okay. Bitch is crazy.
The first floor of the facility had been flooded about waist deep full of water so that Howe could live amongst the dolphins, while the second story remained dry for her bedroom and office.
So the dolphins were swimming around in waist-high water on the first floor, and she was able to just walk around and go up to the top. What? This is so weird.
The three dolphins she lived with were Sissy, who she described as pushy and aggressive, real boss bitch energy. Pamela, which is a hilarious name for a dolphin, who she
Pamela?
described as shy and kind of cowardly.
Pamela the dolphin, huh?
And Peter, who was an adolescent male.
Peter.
Who she quickly became very close to. At this point in the
No, Trout, you are not insinuating what I think you're insinuating.
experiments, they had pretty much given up on the concept of humans speaking the dolphin language, which they cutely refer to as Dolphinese, and instead focused their efforts primarily on teaching the dolphins to speak English.
Yeah, I don't think a dolphin's voice box is capable of English. But that's just my...
You know Connor is.
Huh?
You know Connor's doing that. Trout will always insinuate. Just look at any one of his commercials.
This is America. I don't care if you're a sea-dwelling mammal. You live here, you speak American. The process by which Howe was attempting to teach the dolphins English was very similar to the way a human
consider
mother
myself
teaches an
extra
infant to speak
Christmas.
English.
Oh,
She would
good.
start by teaching them basic phonemes. Or phonemes. Phonemes? She would start by teaching them basic sounds and working her way up to full words and sentences. She also had a strict zero-tolerance policy for any Dolphinese to be spoken during these English lessons.
How do you stop them from speaking Dolphinese? Shock collars?
She continued these lessons for a few months, including one method where
Bat them on the nose? No! No clicking! Whack! Whack!
she painted the bottom half of her face white and put on black lipstick so as to help show the dolphins the movements her mouth was making.
Okay.
Which doesn't make any
So she black-lipped herself.
lipstick so as to help show the dolphins the movements her mouth was making. Which doesn't make any sense to me. I was like, have you seen a dolphin's mouth? They don't have lips.
Yeah. How is a dolphin supposed to make human speech? They don't have lips. They don't have the same voice box that we do. What?
For starters, she was thinking they would use their blowhole to mimic the sound. I don't know. Whatever. She's the dolphin lady. All was well and good until Peter, the adolescent male dolphin, began going
Believe me, a lot of dolphin lovers are obsessed and tend to be dolphin lovers.
through puberty. Now, I'm not your dad, so I'm not.
I speak cat, I like pussy.
I'm going to give
see
you
how it
the
works.
birds and the bees speech, but
I do
with
see how
puberty
it
in any
works.
mammal come certain urges. And old Peter, he took a liking to Howe.
Oh God, no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
With puberty in any mammal come certain urges. And old Peter, he took a
The
liking
only way
to
that dolphins can
how-
make human speech is in cartoons. Yes.
Yeah. Peter would rub up against the inside of Hal's legs or up against her hand or her feet.
Weird.
And the lessons would be interrupted because of Peter's urges.
Dude. Where's what was Jesus Christ?
And at first, Hal would take Peter down to the two female dolphins who were waiting in a separate tank during his lessons, but according to her, this became too time-consuming and inconvenient.
Community Notes just called out the Zara chick as guerrilla marketing, LMAO. I bet she smelled like fish. Oh, CW.
So, she did something else to help relieve Peter's urges. How do I say this in a way that will allow for this video to remain monetized on YouTube?
You don't have to, Trout. We get it. We get it.
Well, merch linked in the bio below. She was jacking off the fucking dolphin. She was cranking his hog. She was spanking his monkey. She was giving him the old-fashioned under the table at IHOP.
Thanks for that. Thank you for that.
And all because it was too inconvenient to move him downstairs to the other dolphins. Yeah, that's a perfectly valid excuse. So yeah, anyway, because of the research for this video, the words dolphin penis are now in my Google search history. Thanks, Margaret Howe. So all that was going on, the research really hadn't been making too much progress, and in the meantime, our boy John Lilly had developed a new fascination. LSD.
Oh, okay. That took a strange turn.
Lilly would take LSD and sit in his isolation tank for hours, during which he was fully convinced that he was communicating with the dolphins psychically. Since he had developed this psychic connection with the dolphins, obviously the next step was to give the dolphins LSD.
So he thought he was telepathically communicating with the dolphins from inside his isolation tank while high on acid? Whoo boy!
Huh? Obviously. And as insane as all of this sounds, check this out.
1, 2, 3. Fish in bucket.
Obviously, the dolphin's not speaking English, but you can kind of hear it, though, can't you?
Kind of. It's saying, it's mimicking the number of syllables. You should see the new Adam and Eve ad that Trout did with Eli. It's disturbing. Yeah, I bet it is.
Howe was opposed to the concept of giving the dolphins LSD, but Lilly insisted, and it was his experiment after all. Much to his annoyance, though, it didn't seem to have much effect on the dolphins. It only made them quiet.
Well, because their brains are probably different than a human brain.
Which, in an experiment to attempt to communicate with them, not exactly a wonderful result.
No.
Eventually, though, Howe did convince Lilly to stop giving LSD to Peter specifically, because obviously she had a very close connection to him. The year was now 1966. Very little progress had been made, and Lilly became more fascinated with LSD than communicating with dolphins. Except for psychically in his isolation tank. He was still doing that regularly. NASA and the Navy, primarily through Dr. Sagan, would regularly check in on the experiments to see how they were doing. And at this point in time, they weren't thrilled.
Could you imagine, like, this is probably something that Carl Sagan wanted to put behind him.
The question was raised as to whether or not Howe was actually teaching the dolphins to speak English or if they were just mimicking human speech, kind of in the same way a parrot does. Just because a parrot repeats what a human says doesn't necessarily imply that we're communicating with them. The lack of results in combination with Lily being an LSD-fueled loose cannon and the dolphin hand stuff caused NASA and the Navy to cut funding.
Gee, I'm shocked. And like I said, this is probably something that Carl Sagan wanted to pretend he never had any connection with.
Due to Lily's waning interest and the lack of funding, the experiment ended, and Howe went home. Shortly after Howe's departure, Peter unalived himself. Seriously.
Wait, what?
Since dolphins are mammals that breathe air but live underwater, each breath is a conscious choice. So, on occasion, when a dolphin just isn't feeling like it anymore, they'll take their last breath, float down to the bottom of the water, and not come back.
Damn! Peter really, really loved the Margaret chick.
Did Peter do this because his heart was broken? Maybe, but my guess would be it's because he was getting as many HJs a day as he wanted, and all the attention was being paid on him, and then that all abruptly ended.
Yeah. It was probably that. He had probably nothing to do with Margaret, actually, but more to do with the attention he was getting.
The dolphin from the TV show Flipper actually did the same thing once production on the show ended. Apparently, dolphins are attention whores.
Well, gee, I'm shocked. They're constantly doing attention hoary stuff.
In the late 1970s,
even in the
Hustler magazine
wild,
found out about these experiments and published an article talking about the relationship between a male dolphin and a female human.
Ah, why?
Howe, understandably, was horribly embarrassed.
I bet
worried
she
that
was.
The lasting legacy she would have after all of her work would only be the fact that she was doing hand stuff to a male dolphin. Which, you know, fair, but also, just don't do that.
Yeah. Just how about we don't jerk off the male dolphin and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Oh my god. Alright. We're gonna do one more video and then I'm going to end this stream and go put the kids to bed and tuck them in and make sure that they're ready for Christmas. Comedians roast Trudeau for 15 minutes. I wanted to do this one.
I met Justin Trudeau. I met Justin Trudeau. Okay.
What are your thoughts on Justin Trudeau?
Oh, they are? Okay.
Justin Trudeau. Does anybody?
Never mind.
I mean, does anybody like him? Let me like.
And that man was Justin Trudeau.
Wearing a pair of Ramadan socks.
Justin Trudeau and his wife are splitting up.
What are your thoughts on Justin Trudeau?
I love that he has brought the country together in hating him.
Yeah, it is incredible.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Is that literally the other day I was just at a traffic light and there was a guy coming to all the cars trying to get money and his thing just said "fuck Trudeau" and I was like, that's beautiful that brings in more dollars than please. Like, we're united.
Trudeau, yes, there you go. Well, he's so damn handsome, but he seems like a retard. A little bit, you know?
He seems like a retard.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I know some people probably like him, but I don't live here, and he just looks like a good-looking guy who knows how to play the game, but I don't think he's got any decent ideas.
In fact, somebody recently said to me, Mr. President, you are so yesterday. Justin Trudeau has completely replaced you.
Oh God, Barack Obama even did it?
He's so handsome. He's so charming. He's the future. And I said, Justin, just give it a rest.
Oh, your new keyboard?
I resented that.
Your new keyboard's gonna take some time to get used to? Hey, that's okay.
I am smarter than a prime minister.
You're goddamn right. You are smarter than the prime minister. That's why I call you Justin Trudeau. God.
Trudeau, yeah. I don't know much about Trudeau. People seem to hate him. What do you guys think? Okay, wow. He's a child molester.
Wow. Somebody in the crowd actually said he's a child molester? Jesus Christ.
All right. Did he diddle you, sir? That would be a fun twist. Bin Laden? Whoa. Well, we killed him a while back. I don't know. He was handsome, wasn't he? Nobody likes to admit that. Him and Trudeau, they look alikes on Halloween. But,
This is
all right. We're cooking now, folks.
If he stays in hiding, riddle me this. Have you ever seen Aziz Ansari and Justin Trudeau in the same place? That's probably the best joke y'all have heard in here tonight. That means Justin Trudeau likes to dress up like an Indian person. That's why.
He does. He does like to dress up like an Indian person. Let's skip through a couple bit more.
Justin Trudeau? Because he's always on my ass?
It's funny how Trudeau's like, he's like, why is everybody a conspiracy
Trudeau
theorist? It's like, dude, you
or
legalized
Trudeau.
weed.
Oh no, you didn't.
And then you locked us up for 2 years.
Yeah.
With the internet. The fuck did you think was gonna happen, dude?
Trudeau. I don't know how you guys feel about him, but you're far enough away. Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. All right, well, we got a couple truckers up top, huh?
A couple of truckers.
Yeah, I don't know. He's handsome. No? Oh, okay. Jeez. I thought women like black guys.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right.
Knock, knock. Justin Trudeau did blackface. It is true, though.
Maybe it's Castro's offspring, or maybe it's Maybelline.
Okay, here's another one. Okay, why'd the chicken cross the road? Because he wanted to tell his friends that Justin Trudeau did blackface.
Okay,
Justin Trudeau and his wife are splitting up. Wait, so now she suddenly doesn't like black guys?
Okay, that's enough of that. Those comedians aren't very funny. Okay. What else do we have here? Donut operator is a meme. Oh, this should be funny. Angry meme review. This should be good. This should be a good one. Let's see.
Speaking of set something to phase, look what I found in my mom's room. She must fish with it. When the ATF finds the service dog on board. I'm not a doctor. I'm a donut operator. Angry Meme Review. Welcome to another edition of Angry Meme
What? Okay.
Review. I'm your host, AC, and this is where I take your fantastic, delectable, and often dark, deranged, and disgusting memes and share them with the rest of the internet. And boy, howdy, do we have a lot of dark stuff. We got the CEO of that healthcare corporation getting murked. We got...
I don't know if Rich is going to talk about it, but okay, so on Unsub, it was found out that the reason Cody is so good at what he does is his mom used to throw him into commercials auditions as a teenager and shit.
Oh.
Okay. And I don't know if you remember the Blue Cam. It was that little personal camera in the mid-90s. You were really young. But I remember it on YTV, and it was this kid in a white backwards hat.
Okay.
And it turns out that was Cody. And it was a huge commercial. It was like a memory hole commercial that suddenly everything was suddenly unlocked by seeing this. And we're like, holy shit! So, yeah. So Donut became a meme for that.
That's funny. Can you bring me my wine glass?
Sure. But yeah, that's all this is. So this is a meme review, but yeah,
Syria imploding. We've got baby teenage Cody donut operator with the little blue cam thing. And so
Oh, yep, Rich just talked about
the mucked out guy on an airplane with a spaz is your homework. Speaking of homeworks, if you want me to see your angry memes, make sure you tag hashtag angry meme reviews on your Reddits, Instagrams, Twitters, Skyline Chili, Little Debbie's, and GoDaddy.com comments. That way I get to see it and share it with the rest of the world. And that's right, you had like 2 simultaneous pieces of homework. Cacao! Donut operator as a teenager in a commercial on Nickelodeon. Lots of fun. And then, of course, pew! Angry shotgun man with the spaz on plane. And boy, were they fun to break down. I enjoyed myself. So I know you will. Now we'll get down to your fantastic, dark, and random memes. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, Ground News. I'm sure you're all aware that mainstream media has a fairly liberal or right-leaning bias, depending on who you watch. And that fills our heads with inaccurate portrayals of like the military or policing. We've all seen the media skew specific stories in order to reach an agenda, suppress certain angles, and alter the public's perception on law enforcement and military. Well, Ground News is here to cut all that BS out. It's an app and a
I want to try Ground
I can't recommend enough that you subscribe to Ground News. They're independent and subscriber funded, but my users save 40% on the unlimited access Vantage plan that I
really?
use. Head to Ground.
That's tempting.
News/cops or scan my QR code right there and try them out today. Now we're back to the memes! And as always, we're going to start off with your randomness, and then we're going to go to Cody, and then we'll go to our homework. My girlfriend's sitting on my phone after I texted that electrician that communism is the best system.
Oh shit.
And setting it to vibrate. Ooh. Hurry up! We have to go to another safety briefing. You know, people ask me, how difficult is it to choose which branch you want to go into?
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Well, some people are just meant for specific branches. Boy, if this isn't a New York City meme. Big Bird continues to furiously masturbate while making eye contact with the elderly lady calling 911.
Oh God, what the fuck?
The word of the day is felon. Hey nerd, you want to see some cool A hard drive with all of your war videos from Fallujah. POV, you're a pissed off grunt in the turret of a Humvee and you're tired of these little throwing rocks. Her, choke me, me.
Suggestions for an AI persona. With
Oh, that was a funny one. I saw that video. Kid sitting there on a big 50 cal machine gun mount.
Yeah.
And these little tiny 7 and 8 year old Iraqi children throwing rocks out.
Yeah.
And he's just like, girl, I'm gonna rack this so fucking bad.
Okay, eat these. My previous leadership. Exactly what I warned them about. The U.S. starting 20-year wars. I think I'll take 2.
The U.S. I think I'll
Taking care of veterans after those wars.
Can the Treasury bear such expense?
Now, I talked about it earlier, but yes, some spicy memes have been happening ever since that healthcare CEO ended up getting murked in New York City. Shall we? NYPD asking the public to help in identifying the CEO shooter. The entire U.S. public.
Jesus Christ.
Except for McDonald's. Europeans watching Americans fix their healthcare system with gun violence. If you're a real American, every problem can be solved with guns.
These are pretty good.
You gained karma. The Syrian people, you have freed us. New Syria.
I wouldn't say free, more like under new management.
Did you guys know that the Unsub crew, and specifically Brandon Herrera, are coming out with snacks? Yes, Brandon's got Trunnions! Ooh, Brandon, Trunnion! Trunnions, Brandon, Trunnion! You know, I wonder if Brandon would like that Trunnion meme. Well,
what's a Trunnion?
I know who else does. Brandon Herrera approves of that meme. Look at that. That guy looks like Brandon and the Taliban. When you show up with all of your Call of Duty accolades. Oh. All right, we've done some randomness and talked about a CEO. Let's see how you deviants used Cody here in order to make some fantastic memes. Oh, they're so good. For those of you that don't know, donut operator Cody here was a teenager, and he was making a commercial for this blue handheld video recorder.
Oh, good old little Cody.
And, well, we decided we'd share it with the rest of the world and have some fun with it. Lining up the silver bullet for a heat casualty. Looking at airsoft that mom got me while at Walmart. The veteran in the car next to me. Oh, PTSD's a bitch. Oh, that's right, the video camera recording thing was called Digital Blue. And
Digital Blue? I don't remember that No, I'm too young. I'm too young for that commercial.
One of you freaking weirdos actually has it. Look at this. He's like, I still got it. How do you save onto that? You gotta be a pack rat, man. More packed in your house than the crack house. Me, after the pedo opens the door. I'm not a doctor. I'm a donut operator. The quiet kid in the back of class, citing his targets in order. When he used to film police brutality instead of commenting on it. Look what I found in my mom's room. She must fish with it. Look at that cheap plastic piece of shit compared to what we have now. Oh, the 90s. They were a different time. When you're against your wife doing OnlyFans, but inflation is a... Saw Fred Durst once. Made that his personality most of high school.
Yeah.
What time it is. And of course, don't forget Donut and his best friend, Donut Operator. Extra glazed. Do you hear that? Cody with the Nickelodeon Diddler guy is my favorite meme of this angry meme review. Tell them what they want, AC.
That is
For a
great.
Voodoo Tactical Level 3 Assault Pack. That's right, with all these zippers and doodads and mama gear, you can hang anything that you want off this backpack. A small child, an extra magazine, you can even put a bulletproof insert in this bad boy and make sure your kids stay alive during the next school shooting. Slide into my DMs so that I can get you your fantastic Level 3 Voodoo Tactical backpack.
Totally order
Larry
one
King
for Kahlo.
Undead in and of itself is a
He would
great
like one of those
Twitter
for sure.
Like he wanted to say X, Twitter, whatever it is. When you bring your chick back to your room and your roommate's being hella weird, quit hiding around the corner recording us.
Huh? Oh.
Cody, you freak! Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Combat never seemed so real. Breaking news! Shooter revealed! And now the moment you've all been waiting for, your fantastic homework. There it is, the guy with the shotgun, blasting it. A spaz. Not a good shotgun, but iconic. Absolutely iconic. Clever girl. Clever girl. Anywho, you guys had a riot with this. A shotgun, a riot, shotgun. Oh, I cracked myself up. Anyway, let's get down into the memes. Rapid fire these sons of because there's quite a few. Girls with a time machine. Are you my great-grandmother? No, what the f? Boys with a time machine. 9/11, 2001, in the cockpit of a plane.
Oh, Jesus.
What young man has not been like, if I was just there with a service pistol, I'd have saved everybody, and none of this would have happened. If I had time traveling and teleportation powers, could have saved the world. Courtney Love. Kurt Cobain.
Oh, Jesus. That's dark.
Hey, let's get a motivational poster going on around here, shall we? Something to hang up in the office. Positive attitude. There is no hostage situation if you take the hostage out of the situation. Go yourself, Steven, you jizz. Yes, I do not like Instructor Steven of the man basic trading camp filled with losers. POV, the quiet kid handed you his spare, and you know where the popular girls skip class.
Ooh, that's a dark one
This
too.
is for
Holy
rejecting me,
shit.
Stacy. POV, watching your buddy run airsoft with his other loadout after losing to kids all day. Uh-oh. Me. Excuse me, miss. Stewardess. My pronouns are they, them. Me. When you see someone sitting in your seat on the plane, I said, I'm in 22C. I have the
I'm
window
in
seat.
22C.
Could you get, thank you. Thank you. Ah, me. My butthole. Taco Bell. I said, put it in airplane mode, mother. All cell phones off. No large electronics on. When a retard with pilot wings charges the cockpit. Listen, I know he's a special guy and we're really excited that he's having a fun time. I still want to land alive.
Oh,
New York,
these are
DC.
funny. Even though I can't see
Squirrel!
them.
When the ATF finds the service dog on board. When
Oh,
that one
God.
flight attendant thinks the emergency brief is an open mic or American Idol audition.
Oh,
Listen,
no.
listen here, gang, okay? I'm sure you've practiced singing the on-flight safety boarding thing, okay? We're all ignoring you. Just, let's get this plane off the ground, all right?
Oh, Jesus. I cannot imagine. Can you imagine that?
I don't want to hear she's coming around the mountain with you take your seatbelt and you plug it in your ass, Take the mask right down and put it in your face. Do it first. Put your head between your knees and lift up your seat.
OnlyFans is getting the Playboy model treatment. They're... Really, does anyone ever rate Kurt Cobain seriously? I don't know if anyone... now that I'm older and I listen to Nirvana, it's like, it's boring.
When we land. Speaking of Spirit Airlines, liquidating assets after bankruptcy. Huh? Nobody wants to fly on an airlines that takes your bag and throws it in the back and charges you an extra fee even though it's totally gonna fit in the overhead bin? When you get tired of people clapping when you land, you clap when you get out of a taxi, do ya?
Who the fuck claps when the plane lands? Is that a thing? Yes. Really? That would piss me off. That would really piss me off.
Every time Nana picks you up and drops you off back at home, you clapping because Nana made it. Lame.
How
You're all lame.
infantilizing for
I get
the
it.
pilot.
Flight is new and amazing, and it's a fantastic way for us to reach across the world and shake hands with strangers that we've never met and lands we've never seen. But if you're going from Chicago to Detroit, nobody gives a shit. The plane just landed and the people in the row behind you try to push their way to the front. Not today! I told you to stop kicking my seat!
Again, this is all stuff I've never experienced because I've never flown on a plane.
Put your tray table in the upright position! POV, your dog tries to make a friend. ATF. Oh, this is so good. There should be a gift for every email you receive at work. Per my last email. That motherfucker is not real anymore. POV, the unarmed Arab family starts praying on a plane.
Oh boy.
My only target is the high prices. A whole bunch of veterans with PTSD start hearing Allahu Akbar on a plane. POV, you hear the female officer yell, taser, 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 after you respond to a noise complaint. Oh, female police officers shooting people thinking that it's their taser.
Ouch.
Is it ever not going to be memeable? I suggest it will always be. That's all we've got for this fantastic angry meme review. If you want to see more memes...
Well, that was flippin' hilarious. Yes, I said flapping. What are you gonna do about it? What else do I have here? Was she really dead? Oh, the Tales from the Internet thing. That's what I forgot about. Okay, here we go.
No women on the internet. That used to be a big meme on 4chan back in the day, and when I get to the end of this video, you might say, wow, they're actually right. But first, let's take a look at some pictures. This is the perfect family picture. Till you see it. I don't know, it looks pretty normal to me. 2 happy parents, 1 happy
When
kid.
asked window, seat, or aisle, I always say I prefer a seat. Whenever I'm asked window, seat, or aisle, I always say I prefer a seat. Duh. That's funny.
Kids who are kind of like, eh. Oh wait, there it is. A wide-eyed, shiny gentleman. Buried in the couch underneath the mom. Like that one Edogawa Rampo story. Okay, how about this picture of a foggy street? You see anything out of the ordinary? Oh, there's a T-Rex lurking in the mist. That's not something you'd usually see. This format, when you see it, you'll shit bricks, or mindfuck images.
Oh, those weird images where if you look hard enough, you see random shit. See, I was talking to my stepmother about this the other day, and I was saying if I ever got my sight back, I would never get anything done because I would be constantly looking at shit like this.
Was a really popular image format back in the mid-2000s. A subgenre of the demotivational poster meme that had been going strong for several years, as memes did back then. It's kind of like playing a game of Where's Waldo, but with a spooky little twist. You see that caption and you know immediately that there's going to be something creepy or at least unusual going on. But it's not immediately obvious what that is. And as time went on, people would play off this expectation to misdirect you. Like you got this one where there's a red circle, but there's nothing in the circle. And then you look down and oh no, it's a demonic soy jack in the floor.
That's weird.
Of course, there's also the ones where you think it's going to be one of these and you're looking, and then all of a sudden a spooky face pops up, and it was a gift the whole time. I definitely got by a few of those back in the day. Well, how about this one? Perfection. When you see it,
When we were landing in Gibraltar in a horrendous storm. That's funny. There is a Frenchie that is about to. That's funny.
you'll
You
shit
didn't want the
bricks.
Frenchie
And it's
to
a girl
show
in
him
bed
up.
in pink floral underwear.
That's
Whoa, easy there,
hilarious.
bud. Don't go off to your bunk
I
and
love
start
that
killing
theory.
kittens just yet. We got a mystery to solve. What exactly are we supposed to be seeing here? The mattress tag? The flowers in the background? What if I told you? That's a dead body. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of Perfection Girl. This video is sponsored by Helix. I'm at best, and Flex wasn't enough to it where I felt like I could make a decent video out of it. I don't know what it was that made me think about it again, but this time I found a lot more. Stuff that was previously lost to time, including the guy who most likely wrote the original copy pasta. And I also finally figured out, after almost 20 years, the actual reason that we were supposed to shit bricks about this.
Okay. I don't understand these images because I can't see them.
So for those unfamiliar with this meme, Perfection Girl was this woman who was in a series of 3 photos depicting her in bed in pink underwear. She's a good looking girl, but that in and of itself is unremarkable. You know, if I made a video that was like, okay, so there was this girl on 4chan 20 years ago, and she kind of looked good. That was the video, you should just put me down like a dog. No, this is of interest because despite very clearly looking alive, she's supposedly dead.
Huh?
By the time
This was the last thing I had. Yeah, alright. I'll end it for now. I'm gonna go for a bit. But I will be back on Twitch later. Because I want to play more Diablo. I want to finish that quest for... Damn. I want to finish that quest so bad. Anyway, I'm going to go for a bit. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas if you're in Europe. And if not, I hope you guys are preparing for Christmas Eve. Or Christmas Day tomorrow. And I will see you guys tomorrow. or not tomorrow, later on Twitch. So go follow the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/blindpress.